Get ready for one of the most exciting junior sprint races you'll see this season. In this video, we break down the boys' under-20 100-meter final at the CARIFTA Games, a race packed with talent, pressure, and future stars of global sprinting. You'll see how Jamaica once again proved its dominance, how athletes from Trinidad and Tobago and the British Virgin Islands tried to challenge that supremacy, and which young sprinters are ready to take the next step onto the world stage. From explosive starts to top-end speed and race execution, we'll analyze every key moment that decided the outcome.
Big, powerful Evans of the Bahamas between them in lane number 4. Daley 10.27 in the heats.
Yeah, there is Zachary Evans of the Bahamas, 10.47 in qualifying, just 100th of a second outside his 10.46 personal best. You get the feeling he will have to run a personal best if he is to win tonight, maybe even to get a medal.
On your marks.
It is a cracking field for the under-20 boys 100 meters. DeAndre, Daley, Jamaica, 10.27 in qualifying. There he is, a personal best, improving on the 10.30 that he came into CARIFTA with. Final track event of day 1 of the CARIFTA Games.
Yellow card.
2022.
Card.
So a yellow card will be coming out. Jean Daley of Antigua and Barbuda.
On your marks.
Should have some confidence after seeing his teammate surprise the field in the under-17 boys final. Daley is in lane 3. There is Nkrumie. Slipped at the start at the Jamaican High School Championships. We'll be looking to put that right in the CARIFTA final.
Set.
Nkrumie got up quickly, as is expected. The Jamaican has the lead. DeAndre Daley, his teammate, goes in chase. Nkrumie and Daley. The Jamaicans are 1-2. Daley ahead of Nkrumie. Zachary Evans gets the bronze medal for the Bahamas. 10.23. He lowers his personal best again. And whatever went wrong at the Jamaican High School Championships is definitely behind him, because he has looked superb throughout the CARIFTA Games, and he lands gold with Nkrumie coming through for silver, and he might have produced another personal best as well.
Daley does it, 10.23, sensationally fast all season. His last at champs, the first one for the season, comes back with a big win here at 10.23. He out a better start than usual for him, and Nkrumie out ahead of him, caught him, went by him, went to win. There's a look across. Here's the start. Great start for Bouwahjgie and Nkrumie in the yellow for Jamaica. Daley second out to the blocks, and second here, comes alongside his teammate. Teammate looks across, cost himself some momentum, but Daley has a big gold medal and a big new personal best at 10.23. Just like Evans of the Bahamas got the bronze.
Yeah, he sure did. The Jamaicans sweeping the under-20 category. 1-2 finishes in both. DeAndre Daley, the champion, 10.23 personal best. Bouwahjgie and Nkrumie, 10.28 personal best. Zachary Evans, 10.45 personal best. Taking bronze for the Bahamas. Jaden Reed of the Cayman Islands, 10.53 personal best. Just out of the medals, finishing in 4th position.
The boys' under-20 100 meters final at the CARIFTA Games delivered exactly what Caribbean sprinting is known for: raw speed, rising talent, and a level of intensity that felt far beyond a junior competition. This was more than just a race. It was a glimpse into the future of global sprinting, where young athletes begin to shape their identities on one of the region's most important stages. Coming into the final, the anticipation was already building. The heats had revealed a tightly packed field, with multiple athletes running within hundredths of each other. But while the margins were small on paper, the narratives behind each sprinter added layers of intrigue. Jamaica, as always, arrived with depth and confidence, fielding two of the most talked-about names in junior sprinting: Bouwahjgie Nkrumie and DeAndre Daley. Both had already shown the ability to handle pressure, and both carried the expectations of a nation synonymous with sprint dominance. At the same time, the rest of the Caribbean was not there to simply fill lanes. Zachary Evans of the Bahamas had quietly built momentum, and his near-personal best performance in the rounds suggested he was peaking at the right moment. Webster of Trinidad and Tobago brought a powerful sprinting style that made him dangerous over the first half of the race. Daley of Antigua and Barbuda, despite some inconsistency in his start, had demonstrated resilience and top-end speed that could not be ignored. Meanwhile, Jaden Reed and Yearbell represented nations that are steadily rising in sprint development, adding even more unpredictability to the final. From the moment the athletes settled into their blocks, the atmosphere shifted. The silence before the gun carried a sense of expectation, not just for a winner, but for a statement performance. When the gun fired, it was immediately clear that the start would be decisive. Nkrumie reacted sharply, getting out of the blocks with the kind of efficiency that separates elite sprinters from the rest. His drive phase was controlled yet aggressive, allowing him to establish an early advantage without overextending. Alongside him, Daley of Jamaica also had a strong start, keeping the pressure on and ensuring that the race would not be a solo effort. Webster showed his trademark explosiveness in the opening meters, briefly matching the Jamaicans stride for stride. For a moment, it looked like Trinidad and Tobago might challenge for control of the race. However, as the athletes transitioned into the upright phase, the difference in top-end speed began to emerge. Nkrumie's mechanics stood out immediately. His stride lengthened smoothly, his cadence remained high, and his relaxation under pressure allowed him to maintain efficiency while others began to tighten. This is often the defining factor in junior sprinting: the ability to stay composed when the body is under maximum strain. Behind him, the battle for the remaining podium positions intensified. Evans held his form impressively, maintaining contact and showing why he had been one of the most consistent performers leading into the final. Webster fought to stay in contention, while Daley attempted to recover from a slightly slower start, relying on his finishing speed. But as the race entered its final 30 meters, it became clear that Jamaica's dominance would once again be on display. Nkrumie found another gear, not through visible strain, but through technical superiority. His posture remained tall, his arms drove cleanly, and his turnover stayed quick and efficient. DeAndre Daley also surged strongly in the closing phase, reinforcing Jamaica's control of the race. The gap between the Jamaican athletes and the rest of the field began to widen, turning what had started as a competitive final into a statement performance. At the finish line, the result confirmed what the race had suggested. Jamaica had once again asserted itself as the powerhouse of Caribbean sprinting. But beyond the result, what stood out most was the quality of the performance. This was not just about winning, it was about how the race was executed. For the other competitors, there were still significant positives to take away. Evans demonstrated consistency and composure under pressure, qualities that will serve him well as he transitions to higher levels of competition. Webster showed that his explosive start can put him in contention against the best, while athletes like Daley, Jaden Reed, and Yearbell proved that the depth of talent across the Caribbean continues to grow. What makes the CARIFTA Games so important is precisely this: it is a proving ground. Many of the world's greatest sprinters once stood on this stage, learning how to handle pressure, refine their technique, and compete against the best in their region. Performances like this remind us that the next generation is already preparing to carry that legacy forward. In the end, this race was more than just a final. It was a statement about the future of sprinting in the Caribbean. Jamaica may have taken the victory, but the entire field contributed to a race that highlighted the depth, talent, and competitive spirit that defined the region. And if this final is any indication, the next wave of global sprint stars is already accelerating. And they are coming fast.